Good morning, everyone. Got your coffee? I got mine. Do I have to remind you all to rest? Black women, let me tell you. This whole thing that is going on between South Asian women and Scandinavian women, white American women, please stay out of that. It's like, it's like you all just can't rest. Like we have enough things to worry about over here. Worry about your communities, worry about mating with decent black men, worry about raising decent black children, worry about infusing your communities with capital and beauty. Okay? We have enough issues over here without getting involved in that conflict. That conflict don't have shit to do with us. That is between white women, South Asian women, and real actual Scandinavian women. And if you don't know what's going on, just in a nutshell, white women are doing the thing that they always do, and they're stealing somebody's culture. They're taking this piece of clothing called the dupatta, and this clothing is very important to South Asian women. It is grandmothered into their identity. And it's a piece of clothing that is representational of all the fights that they have had as South Asian women. Their feminist movement, their own feminist movement. And white women have taken it, and then they have said it's a Scandinavian scarf. Remember how they did us with the twist outs? Called them Mamma Mia braids. And it was just a fucking twist out, and they never want to give the originator, the creator, they take something for themselves, and then they just slap a new label on it and pretend like it was them all along. And it wasn't. And that's what they're doing here. This is a very important piece of clothing to South Asian women. And here come white women again. And then Scandinavian women, real actual Scandinavian women, have Dutch, Norway. They have entered the chat and said, no, y'all leave us out of this. Because, this not what we doing. This not what we doing. They've even entered the chat. And now you see black women, and black women got all these opinions on this. I don't have an opinion on it because it ain't my shit. Why are y'all always coming out of rest and for the dumbest shit? Stay out of Target. Let's get Walmart and Amazon next. Beautify your communities. Worry about what's going on, the problems in your own community. In your own community. Stop deflecting from our issues with what the fuck is going on, the ridiculousness that is going on in other communities. We don't have time for that. Mind your black ass business. Okay? Mind your own black ass business. With that being said, I want to say thank you to Tammy. Tammy, thank you so much. You came through right on time because I was running out of fun things to put inside the library pantry. Plenty of food, plenty of books, but the fun stuff I was kind of getting low on. So thank you so much. And also to Tavares, who also came through. Yay, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I wanted to say that before I forget, because the other day I forgot to thank people and it made me feel horrible. I had to wait till the next morning to do it, and I don't want to do that. But anyway, listen, this is what I want to talk about today. Today is a religious holiday for religious people. I'm not a religious person, so there's no need to tell me Happy Easter. I don't care about Easter. But let me tell you what I do care about. I care about people. And today is not the day for those of you all who are religious and are planning on going to church to, after church, go inside establishments like restaurants and big box stores and treat those people horribly because they had to work today and get it out of the mud. That doesn't make you an upright Christian. That makes you a devil in a Sunday hat, baby. Okay? That's what that makes you. I remember for a little while, I used to work in one of the upper scale restaurants. And the way y'all would make them little white girls cry on Sundays, they would come in the back and they would have to really gather themselves because the religious black folks would come in and just be so rude because you felt justified in treating people who clearly had to work on a Sunday like dirt because you went to church. Again, that doesn't make you an upright Christian. And I would always be like, Mary Beth, what's wrong with you now? And it's, table 36. Well, what's wrong with table 36, Mary Beth? Oh, they called me a flat-chested hooker. Okay, Mary Beth, would you like me to take the table over for you? Because I don't mind dealing. You know what I'm saying? Even though, let me say this. There is a fundamental difference between working for a restaurant that is corporately owned versus one that is privately owned. Privately owned will kick your asses out of there. Corporately owned, they'll kiss your ass. And the one that I worked at, it was a corporately owned restaurant. And let me tell you, you do have to be mindful of what you say to customers, because it can cost you your job. And customers, they know that. They know that. And that's one of the reasons why they feel so empowered to come in and talk to you like anything. Because again, they feel like they're righteous Christians. And then they can talk to you like you a heathen because you wasn't in church today. But instead, you're here serving them, paying your bills. So that makes them more righteous than you. Devils in Sunday hats. Amen. Amen. So after they get the pastor's good word, they then come up on your job, whether you're someone working at a gas station or a restaurant or a big box store, and they treat you horribly and think that they have the right to do it. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. I'm here to tell you that it doesn't make you righteous. I'm here to tell you that it makes you an enemy of the God that you say you serve. It does. It does. It doesn't make you a good person. I remember one time I had a table, case in point, and they clearly all had just come from church. Sundays are usually busy, but a religious Sunday, they're very busy. So if you're not going to cook your little Easter dinner today or whatever it is you do on this day, and you decide to go into a restaurant, be mindful of how you treat that server. Because if you believe in hell, then hell is for everybody, right? Amen. Amen. Anyway, but I remember one time I had this table and there was what I would like to call it a matriarch at the table. She was kind of leading everybody. She was probably the one paying. And when I tell you this old black lady was so nasty, and she tried me, she did. And I stood before the table and I remember it was quite a few of them, but I remember this one guy in particular because he hid behind his menu laughing. And when she got into her little nasty routine, I said, you all look so nice, because there's a way to get your point across to anyone that you want to get it across. And you can be just as nasty and you can be nice with it. And I said, everybody here looks so good today. Did we go to church? And she goes, yeah, because, them fake Christians, they like that kind of thing. They like for you to stroke their ego a little bit. And that's what she thought I was getting ready to do. And I said, well, you all look amazing this Sunday. I said, was it a good lesson today? Yeah, Pastor. I said, Pastor preached today? Oh, yeah, it was such a good lesson today. And she said it in a way like, yeah, you should have been there. And I said, did we learn anything that we can apply to real life today? And the way them smiles went away, and old boy picked that menu up and got the key in behind that menu, because there's a way to get your point across to anyone. And that was my point. And after that, things flowed and we had mutual respect for one another. Don't go into people's jobs treating them like shit because you think you have the right to do it because you walked in between the church's doors. If church and your religion isn't making you a better person, then what the fuck is the actual point? Because isn't that the point? If you're not learning how to be better and do better in church of all places, what is the point? Why are you actually there? Why are you really there? Just a little something to think about today. Be righteous. Righteous for real. Do something nice for someone. Treat everyone with kindness. Love on your community. When you see blackness, respect it. Because that's the only way we're going to get it together. That and staying out of the business of Scandinavian white women. Okay? Y'all have a good day.